What's going on, CDL fans? Welcome back to the CDL recap. It's time to talk about what happened this weekend, as well as I will show you my team of the week at the end of the video. And thank you to everyone who's in the watch party this weekend. I was watch partying Saturday and Sunday, and I'll be live again next Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to watch matches with me, definitely check that out. But here are the Major 2 qualifier standings as of right now. As you can see, Ultra and Subliners both at the top with 2-0. And then at the bottom, you see the Ravens and the Heretics at 0-2. You can kind of see where teams are sitting right now after week 1. But now let's go through the series and quickly talk about some of the key highlights and players that played really well. In the first series of the weekend, we saw the Ultra just pretty much beat down on the Heretics. It was a relatively, some of the maps were kind of close, like 6-4 in the Search and Destroy, 3-2 in the Control. But as a whole, it just was not a great start. And especially for the rookie Eric Boom, the newest player on Heretics, it definitely just did not go well, as you can see here by the scoreboard. Scrap had a really great series, and overall, it just was pretty dominant from Ultra. Then the next series, we saw the New York Subliners reverse sweep the Ravens. The Ravens came out and made a nice comeback on this first sub-base hardpoint, and then 6-1 on Invasion SND, but then obviously got reverse swept relatively convincingly, at least in map 4 and 5. So pretty disappointing for the side of the Ravens. You definitely could see it in their face cams, especially with Clay, just how fed up they were kind of getting with what was happening. Major shout out to Kismet. I mean, 101 kills, absolutely frying. Same thing with, the whole team fried, right? But Kismet really was that guy. I mean, putting up over 100 kills. When Kiz is on point, he is one of the best players in the game, as we saw last year. And he finally had his best series by far, I think, so far this season. Then for the first match of the new Boston Breach and the Ravens, again, back-to-back matches, essentially. The last match on Friday into the first match on Saturday. Boston looking decent with their new pickup in ASIM. Obviously, Ravens losing once again. Gwyn having an okay series, but overall, nothing really crazy on the side of Ravens, but on the side of Boston, Priestess, Slasher, everyone did really well, honestly. Slasher putting up 18k damage is actually really, really good. ASIM also had a really good, I believe it was map 3. Yeah, he put up a 1.52 in the Control. So a good first showing for this team, but obviously, I mean, they played Ravens, who are probably a bottom 2 team in the league, so nothing crazy as your first test, but definitely good to see Boston win. Then we had Atlanta FaZe versus Miami Heretics. Miami obviously going 0-2 on the weekend. Not really the greatest showing for them. They were able to take map 1 sub base, so maybe FaZe should stop playing sub base because I feel like it's not been great for them. But then they ended up losing the next 3 either way. Abizi had his best series probably of the year. So guys like Abizi, Kismet, and Shotzi, actually, all players that were the worst players or the struggling players on their respective teams, I think had their best matches so far this season. Eric Boom had a better match this time around versus FaZe, which is good to see, but the rest of the team not really doing too hot. Draza set the record for the new longest kill streak in the league, which is pretty cool as well. And then I thought this was an interesting stat here. FaZe's record after the first 13 series of each season, they're 11-2, 12-1, 10-3, 8-5, and 11-2. I mean, they're absolutely insane when it comes to the beginning of the season. I mean, obviously the whole season, but especially this, it's just absolutely crazy looking at those records to start off each season. Then we saw the new look Seattle Surge versus the New York Subliners, and this was absolutely dominant. This Control might be one of the worst Control performances we've ever seen out of any team. I mean, you could look at those stats. I mean, 8 kills, 9 kills, 11 kills, and 12 kills out of the side of Surge. Probably, like I said, one of the worst Control maps we've ever seen in the CDL, not even just this season. Abuza was able to go positive. The rest of the team kind of got crapped on. Skies, Hydra, everyone did their thing. Skies, obviously a 1.6. Pretty good there out of New York. I mean, not a lot you can really say about this one. This was just a New York absolute beatdown. Then we go into the LA Gorillas versus the Las Vegas Legion. The new look Legion, obviously dropping Standy and bringing in Geo. Everyone said they should have dropped Purge, and it ended up working out for the Legion. We saw Attach flipping off the camera. He said he got pretty heated in the moment. Definitely a lot of hate kind of coming towards the Legion recently. And Attach absolutely did his thing. A 1.43, 87 kills. Nero played well. Purge looked much more comfortable on the SMG role, being as he was running that secondary sub next to Nero. And then Geo, the rookie, coming in and taking that second AR, that flex role, looking pretty solid as well. Obviously, a .86 isn't anything crazy, but enough to get the job done against a Gorillas team, which is pretty solid and has been able to compete with some of the best teams this season. Then our second to last series of the weekend, we saw the Toronto Ultra beat the Minnesota Rocker. Rocker almost was able to come back on the reverse sweep. I mean, I say almost. They were able to push it to Game 5 despite going down 2-0. And then they got 6-0'd in Game 5, which is absolutely insane. If you look at the stats, Everyone kind of just did their thing on both teams, in my opinion. Accuracy played really, really well in map 3 and 4. He had a 1.5 in map 3 and a 1.42 in map 4. He really turned up for his squad to give them an opportunity to reverse sweep, but to no avail, obviously, as we saw. Lynn's still probably front runner for Rookie of the Year, and probably, I say definitely front runner for Rookie of the Year. And then Envoy had an amazing series. He was definitely the most consistent player through all 5 maps for the Toronto Ultra. And you can see here, Toronto Ultra extends their win streak to 10, which is now a new franchise record. So shout out to Ultra for that. This is probably better than their Cold War team, I would say, for sure. But yeah, 10 win streak on the series. They're still, they pushed their hardpoint record one more. So they were able to push it to, I believe, 14 hardpoints in a row. And then they obviously lost map 4. So that's the new CDL record for hardpoints. And then they're also on a search and destroy record. I believe they're on maybe 10 maps in a row in SND. So Ultra just out here setting records left and right. And then last match of the weekend was the LA Thieves versus OpTic Texas. My boys got absolutely stomped on by OpTic. Pretty much what everyone expected. I did pick LA Thieves to win in my pick'ems. It was more that hopeful fan bias, as I'm sure many could tell. But I really honestly thought they would come out and look a little bit better than they did. They should have won the invasion control, in my opinion. There's definitely plenty of opportunities where they should have won. Afro had a pretty bad control map, especially down the stretch. The team was doing pretty good through the first like 3 or 4 rounds of that control, but it kind of fell off towards the end, especially out of Afro. But overall on the series, I mean, everybody on OpTic looked good. Shotzi looked much better. Shotzi and Pred looked much better, especially on this map 1 Rio. Just goes to show you put sub players on a sub map, and they're probably going to be really, really good. So shout out to Shotzi and Pred for that on the first map. But overall, I mean, there's not a lot you really need to say. Like, Thieves are by far the worst team in the game. Easily 12th place team. OpTic are a top 3 team. Should they have won this? Of course. But I still think LA Thieves should have played a bit better. So it wasn't the most fun thing to watch as a Thieves fan, but hopefully this team can get a little bit better throughout the weeks and maybe find some footing heading into Major 2. But with all that being said, it's time to look at my team of the week. I just tweeted this out right before the video. So this is my team of the week for week 6. I got Kiz, Envoy, Attach, and Skies, 2 guys from the New York Subliners. I was kind of going back and forth between this. I could have went Scrap, in my opinion, probably over Skies, because the Ultra played Miami and they played, oh my God, they played Rocker, so probably a little bit of harder opponents. But I ended up going with this. I think any of these guys that I have here in honorable mentions were definitely worthy of being in this team. Honestly, I think Envoy is the only guy that you have to have in this team, in my opinion. The other 3, I think you could probably make swaps for. I wanted to show love to Attach. He was the reason that Legion were able to beat Gorillas, and Legion were probably considered a bottom 2, bottom 3 team coming into this split. So major shout out to Attach. And overall, yeah, you could have any of these honorable mention guys in this team, but this is who I have. Let me know who you would have in your team of the week in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, definitely sub to the channel. Like I said, I'll be live Saturday and Sunday next weekend watching the matches. So if you want to hang out and watch, we had like 10 to 15 viewers the entire time throughout the streams those 2 days, which is really awesome. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. And with all that being said, I'll see you in the next video.